Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. And if you've been following my channel lately, you may have seen me share a tutorial on these little cute little twist and close boxes. Now I designed these ones to fit a single lint chocolate. Can't get it out now. There you are. A single lint will pop in. But somebody asked, is there a way of making it larger, big enough for a Terry's chocolate orange? So challenge was accepted, and I'm going to be making one in collaboration with CraftyWafty, who stock these wonderful 49er market papers and ephemera and things like that. So I'm going to be making one of these, but making it larger using Rust and Revs 2.0. So perfect one for upcoming Father's Day's projects. So how about this for a gift? So you can see the difference in the size. It is big, and just as before, it opens up and inside we have a Terry's chocolate orange. So it fits, I've scaled it so it fits perfectly inside, closes using these fabulous papers. So there you go. And then just use some ephemera to make the front then, and see, ready for Father's Day. Best stand. So hopefully I've inspired you just by seeing that. And yeah, it's ginormous, it's fun, can be made with any of the papers, but yeah, it's a perfect little Father's Day gift. So let's head over and make some. So I've got some black cardstock, so I've got 2 pieces, and I'm going to grab my trimmer. I'm going to see if I can cut both at the same time. So I need to cut these at 6.5 by 8. So A4 papers, 8.25. So I'm going to do my 6.5 first. So there we go, 6.5. Trying to go through the 2 pieces of paper. There we go. And then turn it around. I'm just going to take that slither off to make it 8 inches. Got it? Yes. Cut them both. So they're both exactly the same size with me here now. Okay. So you don't need any special tools for this apart from your scoreboard. So no special punches, dies, nothing. Just scoring away now. And both of them would be scored exactly the same. So I'm going to start off with the 6.5 across the top. And I'm going to score at 3 and 6. Then I'm going to turn it around, and I'm going to score at 1, 2.5, and 6.5. So the measurements are nice and easy, nothing too complicated. So again, same again with this one, 3 and 6. Turn it around. We're going to score at 1, 2.5, and 6.5. And now I'm going to turn it back this way. So I've got that little 1/2 inch flap off to the right, and these now are equal measurements of 3 inches and 3 inches. I'm going to halve them, so 1.5, but I'm going to stop at that first score line. So at 1.5 inches down to the first one, and then at 4.5. So just the halfway point of each of those pieces. And we need to do the same on here. So 1.5 down to the first score line, and 4.5 down to the first score line. And that's the scoreboard finished. We do have some more scoring to do. So I've got my ruler and any soft surface. I'm just using a dinner table mat here. What I'm going to do, see if this picks up. So again, the 1/2 inch is off on the right here. We've done our score line coming down here in the middle. We're going to take it now from there out to the bottom corner here, and the same here. So from here down towards that 1/2 inch flap. Exactly the same on both. So from that halfway point, where they meet, is where I put my scoring tool and diagonally across. And again, on this one, diagonally across. And I'm going to repeat it on this other one. So a nice, firm but soft, if that even makes sense. So it's got a bit of give, but it's still firm enough to make a score line. And the other one. There we go. So if I bring it up to the camera, you will see what you're aiming for. So you've got that line coming down the halfway point and then go diagonal to where these two meet, and the same here. And now I'm just going to add some double-sided tape from the top. I'm going to be cutting this piece off, so I don't need double-sided tape there. So just all the way up to the top. And again here. There we go. So I'm just going to grab my scissors. And what I'm going to do, towards this skull, I'm just going to cut out a little notch, just a tiny little V. Like so. And the same with this one. So just cutting a tiny V. And then the bottom one, I'm going to cut at an angle to make a little tab and then cut that rectangle off. And whilst I'm here, I'm also going to cut up that score line to make these two bottom pieces some flaps for the bottom of my box. So again, V and V and cut off the rectangle. And the same as we did before, just going to cut up that line and stop at that bottom score line there. So now we have our two pieces made. We're just now going to score them. So these are going to be the main part of the box. These are the folding parts here, and this is the tab to the top. And these four which we cut fold together to make the base there. So we will eventually attach them into one piece, but for now, the main pieces we're going to fold above and below backwards into mountains, and this top one towards me to make a valley. So fold, crease that, and crease that. And exactly the same with this one. Fold the first one into a valley, second one into a mountain, and these two as mountains as well. There we go. So you've got valley, mountain, mountain. And then all of these are mountains, so we fold them all back. So see how the box will come together. It sort of makes sense once you start doing it. So it's a mountain, and these will be mountains as well. So fold them back. There we go. So what's left to do now is these diagonals need to go as a valley. So you can push them down, or what I find easier is turn them over and do a mountain from the back. And we're just going to squeeze those diagonals. So on the back, squeeze a diagonal and squeeze that diagonal. Turn them both the right way. Okay, so that's all the scoring done. I'm going to bring my scoreboard back just to help me as a little guide, because what I'm going to do now is attach them together. So this big massive piece is probably the easiest one to attach it to. So I'm going to just expose a little bit of tape and fold that protective tape over. There we go. So that's just exposed little tape, and it gives me a little tab there. I'm going to bring this in, butt it all up against the top. I'm going to slide it till it matches up and adhere. So there we go. Now I can pull this out and they're stuck together. We still got these two bits, so let's take the tape backing off and place it down. And now I've got my whole piece together. Let's just fold on the left. So now I'm just going to stick my box together. So I'm going to fold one off from the left and fold one from the right and stick them together. And that is the box then coming together. We've got our tuber shape. So this is the top with that diagonal thing. So we're going to work on the bottom first. So they're going to come two opposite together, and then those two are going to go on top. So I'm going to attach some glue just to the edge, not glue, tape to the edge of this one and to the edge of the one opposite. So I'm not putting anything onto these yet because the adhesion is here and we'll stick onto it anyway. So let's take off that tape, but I'm also going to add glue. Now I'm going to avoid the middle because I don't want glue oozing through the gap there. So glue down both sides. As you can see, I'm avoiding that central part. I'm avoiding the central part because I don't want it to ooze through there. So let's get these nice and straight and lined up. So that tape is holding in place for me for now, but that glue will make it more of a permanent fixture. And I'm just going to get my tool in and squeeze it down. So now I've got the base done. So all we've got to do now is squeeze. Do you remember those halfway score lines we did? Well, they're going to squeeze in and it's going to make a cross. And hopefully those diagonal lines with you will also fold in and sort of squeeze down. If not, just use your fingernail and get in there. And we're going to squeeze each corner. Here we go. And just straighten it out. So the first time can be a bit awkward, but once you've done it once, it'll sort of trained itself. So the second time now, it's popping down on its own. So let's have a look from the side. Pop in. Okay, and then just if you're finding it hard, what you can do is put your box inside, and it gives it something to press against there. And that is your box then complete. And it's just a case of decorating. Now the great thing is, I've decorated this one with this fantastic numbers page for Father's Day, and there is enough to decorate the second one as well. So let's have a look. Let's get my trimmer. So this piece is 4 inches, double check, 4 inches by 3. That's to make it fit my chocolate orange. So 4 inches, and go down 1/4 inch. I'm going to go to 3 3/4. Nope, 4 3. 4 inches it is, 4 3/4. Let me just double measure twice, cut once, isn't it? Yeah, 3 3/4. 4 3/4 would have been way too big, wouldn't it? By 2 3/4. That's going to fit onto the panel there. 2 3/4. All 4 of them exactly the same. Just going to grab my distress ink and get rid of that white edge from one cut, because I'm putting it onto black cardstock. That white edge will show. So grab some black pen or black ink and just get rid of it like so. And the last one. Okay. So let's glue these on. Should we see if we can... Oh, they're quite similar one. There we go. Right. And we're just going to work our way around. So I've got my chocolate orange box inside. So I've got something to press against. And third one. And the last one. Okay, so now I'm going to get that piece again. Now this will actually fit other pieces, but it'll be easier to get it from here. So each of these squares is 1 1/2. So I'm going to come down to 1 1/4. So there's 1 inch, 1 1/4. So they're going to be 1 1/4 inch squares. But before I do that, these top flaps are also 1 1/4 across, but they are 3/4 of an inch tall. So I'm going to cut the 3/4 first, just because it's easier while this strip is still long. And I need 8 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So those are for that top flap, those parts. And now I want my 1 1/4 inch squares for the top of the box. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you can see, we managed to get both of them from one piece. So this piece bit now is just going to be some quick inking. I'll try not to take too long. So whilst I'm inking, I'll tell you, so at CraftyWafty, I'm using the 12 by 12 from the main collection, but there are solids as well, which could have been used. And to decorate, I'm going to be using a mixture of the different ephemera pieces you can get. They do have laser cuts, which are really, really intricate ones. They have some nice, strong ephemera pieces, which is a separate pack again. And there's another pack of more like chipboard pieces, which you'll probably see. I've got them all mixed up in my tub, ready to put together as a little topper onto the front of the box. And what's nice is you've got the combination of the chipboard and the flat papers and the ephemera from the laser cuts. So you can really get some dimension without it being too much. So if we look at this box, we've got the flat ephemera piece here and here. We've got some laser cuts here and here. And we've got a chipboard piece with the best dad there. So I've used a bit of everything. So let's put the ink away. Let's bring back our box and start off with the 4 squares, I think. So I'm going to press it down and just line it up centrally. There's 1. 2. 3. Get them nicely pressed down. And 1 more. Here's the 4th one. And now we're just going to glue on our 8 top pieces. So we've got 1 here. One there. And 1 more. And now we're just going to do the other side. So what I'm going to do is just turn it around. Now this paper is non-directional, so I can go a little bit quicker and easier. 1, 2, 3, and 4. There we go. So we've got now our box totally covered in our Rust and Revs 2.0 papers and already looks fantastic. But I've got some foam tape, I've got my ink, don't need my scissors. Let's have a look. So in here we've got, I said, some laser cuts, some ephemera and the chipboard. So I have got a bit of mixture of everything, but if you've only got 1, I'm sure you can still do something. And I've taken some elements out which sort of matched. I'd liked that bit, but there was an essential one for that as well. Or there might have been, and I just cannot find it again. So there was this tag, which I quite liked, and it's just wide enough to cover that gap. So I think that's what I'm going to do, is glue this onto the back here and make a new. So let's have a look. Let's just bring it back slightly. There we go. Put it aside. Let's add some glue to the back of this. So we're trying to just make a cluster. So whatever collections you've got, you'll be able to just design your own. So let's just cover that up. So we've made a new back for this tag. So I like that 6, but do we want 2 6s next to each other? No. So let's put that there. I've got the grass. Oh, I haven't glued the side, have I? So I could tuck the grass through. Oh, that looks good. Yes, I could. We're going to go the same direction as this one. Yes, I think I will. And I've got the car then. And my hero, this is chipboard now, so it's a bit higher. Let's start gluing it down before I change my mind. So let's get that stuck down. That grass should stay where it is by the time I add this. Actually, let's put this on foam tape. And I'm going to add some glue to the back of my foam tape just to make sure it sticks there. So let's put that there. Are there any? I do like a compass. I go in my hero there, or my hero there with a compass. Oh, actually, we could have it. Is it covering too much? No, it's fine down there. So I'm just gluing this flat because it's already got dimension on this. Let's put some on the wheel just to make sure it gets some adhesion. So we've got the Jeep. We've got, yeah, let's get the compass glued. Oh, it's not the compass, it's a speedometer or odometer, what they call it in the car. There we go. We need something over here. So let's have a look, something flat. Let's have a look on the laser cuts. We've got some arrows. Now I did use the arrows one there, so I know they look good. Ooh. Better get the glue off the table. Let's have it on the frame and through. Oh, do you know what? Just that one little extra piece has made such a difference. So we have got a little lantern, which we could put in. I like that. So these are the laser cuts, so you can see how intricate the cutting of these is. We've even got that tiniest of little bits there. So let's have this tucked in here. We won't put the beer on this time. Let's have a look. Oh, should we have some rocks? I'm going to just use my black ink just to hide those little pips. Do we want the rocks or do we not? What are you thinking? Actually, we're going to leave the rocks, I think. Let's have, what about another arrow? Is two too many? No, I quite like the 2. I know they say odd numbers, but because you've got 3 elements, I think it works. Do I stop now before I go too far? I think so. There we go. A little arrow there. So there we are, we've got some laser cuts. We've got more laser cuts. We've got actually all laser cuts. Ephemera piece here and a piece of chipboard here and here. Let's see if I can get just a tiny piece of foam pad underneath my sentiment here, just to give it some more stability, because it is just floating at the moment. There we go. And there we go. That's my Rust and Revs 2.0 large twist and close box in conjunction with CraftyWafty. So I will add a link in the description below to their shop and their Facebook group. So if you would like to get some 49er market here in the UK, they are definitely a place to go. Have a look at their prices, very competitive. And as I say, you can buy so many different things, and you can buy the whole collection, you can buy just part of it. But I've had a wonderful time playing with them, creating these perfect boxes for Father's Day. So thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed it, please give me a little thumbs up and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And please just write a comment in the description below. I love to hear your thoughts on these ideas. And if you do make one, please share a photo of yours in my Facebook group called Paper Crafting with Paul. Again, I'll add a link in the description below for you to find it. So thank you for watching. Here's a nice little close-up of the two boxes, and you can see in my hand now, they're nice, large size. So hope you enjoyed it, and happy crafting.